What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Last time I left you guys off with the Z06, we left off on some pretty good note. We knew we had to order some parts, but the frame wasn't bent based on my very basic noob level measurements. Wheels still look good, suspension still looks good. We were in the clear. Just had to order the new tub, which you can see right here sitting on the car, fender, hatch, bumper, and a few other bits and pieces. But fast forward a couple weeks after that video. I don't know how long it's been between that video and now, but I do feel like it's been a couple weeks since we've gone back to this car. I decided to take a gander, take a walk into the garage to identify the transmission. I'm assuming it's a temperature sensor up at the top that's had a slow seat for a long time. I said, hell, while I got no trunk, might as well put the new sensor in, save myself the hassle of having to be under the car, and I can access it right from the top. So I walk out to the garage, I take a look, and I look to my right a little bit, and I see what looks to be a crack. And now I'm starting to get worried. So I start to look a little deeper into there, and I find not one, but three big old cracks on the right side differential cover. So naturally now I'm in a point where I am back into now we're in some trouble, because now the cost to put the car back together has gone up. So naturally, go back into my research phase, see what the options are to get the diff cover that we need. At first, my brain goes to, I need to replace the rear diff. So my first thing is look for sourcing a used diff. Looking up used diffs, you have to make sure that you identify the difference between a base model Grand Sport and Z06. The Z06 does have a heftier diff in it. It does have a different rear gear. So you can't just go and find a local base model diff like I found off of for the rear tub. So the cost starts to fluctuate. A base model rear diff, again, doesn't work on a Z06. You can find anywhere between $250 and $500 or even more. But usually within that 500 range. You're not really finding really expensive ones. Now for Grand Sport, I do believe, and I might be wrong, I do believe they share the same diff as a Z06, but there is gearing differences as well. Didn't really find any located for that. When I found the Z06 ones, you're talking for a used one, you're talking $1,200 and up. And the problem with the used diff is that you don't know what basket case of trouble you're buying. So I was a little frustrated because I basically replaced everything on this car with the exception of the rear diff and trans, but they work, so I haven't really had to mess with it. And what if now I go and I source a used rear diff, put it in this car, and that diff came out of a troubled situation, and now I get more problem out on track. Keep going down the research phase, I realized that these diff covers on both sides of the car are actually a common fail point for the car. They're aluminum, so they're not the sturdiest. And usually under high torque situations, incorrect launching, more the drag strip racing guys, they have experienced breaking these. So the OEM did have the diff cover, which would have been ideal because it was like $500 at the time to buy one of those, but no one stocks them. They've been discontinued for years, so you can't find them online. And then you don't really have anybody that's selling them used. So the next step is upgrading, right? RPM transmissions, and I believe RPM or somebody else might sell, they sell a billet for both sides. It's an absolute unit of a piece. And long story short, that's what we ended up doing. We ended up picking up the RPM transmissions right-hand side billet cover. Now, I'm gonna have a really sexy cover on one side and a very normal cover on the other side, but I wasn't gonna spend $2,000. That RPM billet cover is $1,250, around the same amount of money that you would probably spend for a used diff. But again, wanted to keep that, and then I can upgrade that side. So we went ahead and ordered that. That part is now here. We can go ahead and get that installed. With the diff being broken, or the diff cover, better said, being broken, it stopped all progress moving forward, right? obviously you can see the tub sitting here, but I can't install the tub. Or I can, but it would be more of a hassle. I can't really move forward because ideally, since I don't have the rear tub actually physically mounted in there, I have access to differential cover without having to lower the entire rear subframe to get to it. I can get to all the bolts and stuff from the very top, which 99% of you guys, if you're doing a diff, are not going to be able to do unless you decide to put yours in a wall like mine and remove the entire rear back half. So I knew I had to put a pause on it, and that's why I haven't really made a video or made any progress. The car's made progress in the sense that parts are on the way. The billet cover is obviously here. The rear tub is here. The rear hatch is here. The trunk is, the bumper is here. Fender arrives today. And the only thing I am missing right now is I went with LG Motorsports rear tie rods and bump steer kit for the rear. And essentially was the fact is like, I don't know if that right-hand side tie rod has a slight belly in it. It kind of looks like that. So I said, you know what? I'm already here. Instead of just buying a tie rod end for that side and replacing it, let's add a little bit more firmness to the rear end and a little bit more feedback and add a bump steer kit to the rear. So that's on its way. I believe it ships out this Friday. So probably about another week or so for that. But I can get the car back together essentially. Yeah, it's a little bit more of a pain in the ass when the car's there because again, with the rear trunk out, you have tons of access to everything out here. But the focus today is get that rear diff cover back on, get the car back started. It has to go through like 2 or 3 heat cycles to make sure that there is no leak. So I want to get that back on so I can move into installing the rear tub, sorry. So working on that today, we're going to do that. This is not going to be a how-to video on the rear diff because again, 99% of you guys are going to be dealing with a car that is complete, not like me. I'm taking advantage of the fact that since my car is wrecked, I can lift this tub off, put it on the floor, work from the top to get the diff cover off. So this is not going to be a how-to video on how to work on that. I will show kind of what I'm going through on it, but it won't be a detailed on how to replace your diff cover. So that's not what this video is. We'll get the diff cover replaced today, and then we'll work on getting the tub ready for placement. Essentially, we need to order about, I think 3 to 4 panel bond tubes. I need to cut out the current panel bond that's left on the frame, clean that area up so that this tub can sit in place. And once this tub is fixed back on there, we can move right into putting all the body panels right back on. So the diff is basically holding off all the progress moving forward. If I can get the diff installed, the diff cover installed today, this car can be up and running very soon because the next steps is just devoting maybe a day or so to align the rear tub, putting the body panels back on, and getting it ready back on the road. And then again, the tie rods and stuff like that, I can do it anytime. So let's get this thing up on quick jacks. Let's take apart a couple more components and let's get that rear diff cover installed. Here, I'll show you the beading situation, right? So see all this bead here has to be cut off. Basically all from here, all of here, here, and it basically just lines the frame. And we got to cut that off. But the goal is to cut obviously the majority off, and we're going to leave a couple tabs in places so that we can not only match the height of the original bead, but we could try to align it quicker by having that same height. And I think that was actually a YouTube comment that someone left me as a great recommendation. So I'll probably like cut the middle chunks out and leave corners or spots where, you know, it'll kind of place. So essentially create corners where we can leverage that to get the exact height that I used to have. And also that'll align us to kind of keep the same bead height. As you see, there's quite a bit of panel bond here. We want to kind of match that same setup. But even then, we'll align it, we'll put it on. There's like 4 hours, I believe, is the dry time, and I think 24 hours for total cure. So we'll be able to put it and kind of manipulate it, move it around, make sure that the fender is aligned properly, put the weight on it so it sits as it needs to, and we should be good. You can see it, it even grabs down here. So there's quite a bit of cutting to do. I do have a machine coming to kind of clean that, and then I'll kind of grind it down to clean it up, make the surface nice and adhesible, if that's a word, and stuff like that. Obviously, you saw from the B-roll footage, and I'll show it once we get in there, but you can see, zoom it in, you can see that nice little juicy crack right there. Fortunately, it is just a diff cover. I just essentially have to probably get this exhaust pipe out of the way, which we have to do anyways. If you notice here, I have one of the tips off, but as you can see, the alignment here is pretty far off. Obviously, this is the side of impact. I have that tip off because that side took the brunt. I need to get under the car and realign the exhaust. Thinking about potentially going with a smaller size. This is the Akopovic. These tips, just the tips, cost $2,000. Not spending that. But I'm also considering going with a smaller tip because as you can see here from this one, it's so close to the tow hook that with vibration, it ends up impacting it. And it's basically trashed this. So I am ordering new tips, and I am going to go a little bit smaller. That way there's a little bit more clearance for the tow hook, and we're not dealing with it banging against a tow hook out on the racetrack. But yeah, going to put this car up on quick jack so I can address this. I got to take the axle and the wheel off so I can pull off that diff cover. So we'll get all this tidied up, get the diff, get the quick jacks, which are all the way back there in this junkyard of car parts, and get this thing started to go. Ready to go in, which is pretty cool. Now I don't want to pull it completely out because, like I said, we do got to figure out the shims and whatever else goes on there. So this is way out of my depth. But look at this behemoth. Look at this unit. This is art, my friends. Art. Literal art. Let's get it installed. Standard, but it is what it is. Here we got the beautiful billet one, and we have the factory one. As you can see, pretty cooked on that side, pretty broken, no mounting points. I do have to remove this bearing race, and I'm a little nervous to do that. There's a new axle seal in the bag, and obviously the outer O-ring, but there is a bearing race that needs to be removed and placed on this one, and there's a shim right beneath it that also needs to follow the same guidelines. So I'm gonna slowly remove that and add it to this one, and then go ahead and put it back in the car. Look at this sexy, expensive part, but got the bearing race put in. There is a shim right beneath it. I labeled it before I put it on there so I can know which was the top side. Got it put in by a machine shop because I didn't want to deal with the liability. And now we're just going to get it slid back on. We do got to put an O-ring on the outside and then put the axle seal as well, and then we should be golden. Well, now that we have the old new diff cover installed, we obviously pissed out quite a bit of differential fluid while we were at it because we had to take the entire cover off. So we've got ourselves some AMSOIL Severe Gear 75W90, which basically this car entirely is running on AMSOIL. We've got AMSOIL in the rear diff, got AMSOIL in the trans, and we've got AMSOIL in the engine oil. The pros is that AMSOIL has a hell of a oil quality. The con is they don't sell it locally. So you need to be proactive when you buy your products, because like me, if you were impatient and you made tons of progress getting the diff cover on and then you realized you don't have any extra diff fluid here, you've got to stop your project for 2 days so you can wait for it to ship it. Now, fortunately, they do ship extremely fast. So I ordered it Friday, like at 4 p.m. Today is Tuesday. Obviously, weekends kind of hinder the progress. And we have it here. Just going to load her up. And then probably while it's up on the quick jack, start it, put it in gear, let it idle, get up to temp, check the levels again, and we should be good. And then move on to securing the tub. All right, guys, so there you have it. Put the rear diff back together, or the rear diff cover, put the CV axle back in. Now, some of the suspension components and stuff are still loose and stuff like that. I'll eventually get to that. That side, the wheel was bent, or at least the outer lip was bent. I didn't want to go through the liability of having it resurfaced and then that wheel potentially not balancing correctly or anything like that. So I did order another wheel from Apex. We'll be getting here in a couple days. And I didn't commit to tightening the whole suspension because I do have the LG Motorsports tie rod and bump steer kit on the way as well. But more than likely, if I move ahead and we're still waiting on the parts, we'll tighten up the factory setup, or the setup that we have on it now, so we can put it back on the ground once the car is built. You can kind of see the car's kind of put back together right now, but for those that are actually following this along closely, rest assured you're not missing any of the drama. The car is just kind of mocked in place. The fenders have a couple bolts, mainly just so my son doesn't knock it down, coming in and out of the garage. But now the rear diff is done. Our next focus is tub and body panels, and hopefully the end of this. Now, like an idiot, when I first put the rear diff cover back on, I knew that I would be leaking out my diff fluid, and I forgot to order the AMSOIL severe gear that we use for it. Did order that, got it, but then I realized, like another idiot, I only ordered 2 quarts instead of 2.5. So waiting on another quart to get here so I could finish tapping that off. This coming week, we'll work on the tub and the body panels. I'll tell you, it's not going to be easy. Right now, there's some panel gaps, some stuff that's going to take a little bit of finagling, maybe a little bit of trimming and stuff to make sure everything fits. But when you hit the wall at 40, 50 miles an hour to when I hit it, you can expect things to kind of move out of place. So we're heading the right direction, guys. If you followed along this far, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. It'll help the channel, help fund getting this car back out on track. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.